Bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba. Blue shadows on the trail, blue moon shining through the trees. I'm not going to sing the rest of it. Who do you think I am? The Three Amigos? Oh. No, not quite. I'm only one amigo. Oh, yes. But we have a bit of a cowboy theme going now. In fact, this may require a change of accent. Excuse me while I become possessed by a spirit of the Old West. Howdy! Yeah. Well, are you whippersnappers? Yeah, this is your old Dr. Jimmy. Old Doc Jimmy out here on the high prairie. And I'm here to get you even higher. 'Cause it's time for them there Halloween Horror Night house cocktails. So we get down to the old saloon here in the town of Lightnin Gulch. It's a town that's being cursed, I tell you, cursed by the lust and craving for gold. You know, some of them Indians down in Mexico, they claim that gold is the devil's excrement, and they might be right. Well, things were fine in this old town. Quite happy. Till they struck that mine, and got that gold, and then the fighting, the killing. Hardly anybody still alive in these parts. That doesn't mean it's a dead town. At least things are still lively, even if they're not alive, you know what I mean? It's hard to keep a bad man down, even in 6 feet under Boot Hill. Could still pop up again, say howdy. So we're going to make ourselves a little old libation to celebrate the curse of Lightnin Gulch in this here ghost town. So first of all, we need the sort of spirits that celebrate the feelings of the Old West. And when you watch them old cowboy movies, you know, the ones with John Wayne or Roy Rogers or whatever type of cowboy, you know, Clint Eastwood, all different sort of cowboys. And whichever type floats your boat, I suppose. Go and see that movie. Whenever they walk into that saloon and the swinging doors flapping back and forth, I want some red eye, put in a dirty glass. Well, what they want is whiskey. Always whiskey in those old movies. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women to drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane. And here we are with the whiskey I selected for this there cocktail, because it's High West. High West. What would be more appropriate for a cowboy cocktail for the old ghost town of Lightnin Gulch? Here we are. It's a double rye, because it's the second time we did this house, and this time we'll get it right. A blend of straight rye whiskeys, bottled by High West Distillery of Park City, Utah, right there in cowboy country, also Mormon country, but let's not mention those people. After all, when we mentioned those people back in 2012 in the Bill and Ted show, they got mad and we had to change the show. Just because we had Romney there with 2 wives. Who'd think anyone get all offended by that sort of thing? Anyway, we're going to pour some of this High West whiskey. Of course, Mormons don't drink this because they don't drink liquor. At least not supposed to. So, this ain't for them. What's it say on the back here? We all get asked time why double and why the exclamation point at the end of it says double because this whiskey is created from 2 rye whiskeys, both a minimum of 2 years old and sourced from multiple distilleries. Ew. See the computer, highwest.com, for technical details and sourcing. That's not a secret, however the proportions are. Ha ha. That's quite good. That comes out of the Blue Sky Ranch in Wanship, Utah. Celebrated cowboys, American West, distinction of being the world's only distillery dude ranch. Yeehaw! It's the first distillery since 1870 in Utah. No shit. Don't get a lot of that sort of thing going on in Mormontown. Not exactly a whiskey drinking capital of the world. We're going to pour some of that into this little hero glass. Smells quite lovely. Good old-fashioned cowboy whiskey. Now we add something to it. What could fit the ghost town? What do we get in a ghost town? We get tumbleweeds. We get coyotes. We get what other sort of things you see in this sort of cowboy pictures, ghost towns? What are those things with those cactus, of course? What is iconic than one of these things right here? You see them in the movies. That might be what we want to put in here. Not a whole actual real cactus with the pointy bits, because that would like hurt your mouth when you try to drink it. No, we're going to have here this D. Kuiper. That's a foreign name, isn't it? D. Kuiper cactus juice liqueur. Liqueur? I don't even know her. Anyway, they pour some of that cactus juice liqueur into the cup with the whiskey. That's how you ruin a good whiskey. But this is a cocktail, not just drinking a shot of whiskey. Sorry. You can do that too if you want. Might be closer to what that cowboys actually drank in the ghost town. We put 2 different spirits in here, and the whiskey itself had 2 different spirits already. But we need some lightning in our gulch, don't we? So we mix it up. Yeehaw! Here we are. This is Ghost Town, the Curse of Lightnin Gulch, the cocktail. Let's try it out. Smells like somebody spilled their rye whiskey into a margarita, or the other way around. Doesn't actually taste like cactus. I think it's supposed to be, I don't know if it comes from a prickly pear fruit flavor, but I don't think that's what they put in there. I think they put in some tequila and lime and mix it up. Like it tastes like a liqueur that's flavored with margarita flavor is what it tastes like to me. But it fits. A little bit of the Old West mixed up with the desert. Tastes like those bleached out skulls of cattle, the horns at that. Georgia O'Keeffe lady used to paint out in Arizona when she went there to Taos on those artiste retreats out there in New Mexico, in Santa Fe. Tastes like claim jumping and owl hoots. Yeah, tastes like all them old Western cliches, like a masked man coming and saying, "Don't hang that Indian." Not sex guns. 6 guns, yeah. And Winchester repeating rifles. Hopalong Cassidy. And Red Ryder and Little Beaver. You ever wonder about that name, Little Beaver? Is there some sort of innuendo about Cowboy have a little boy sidekick and call him Little Beaver? Gotta wonder about that sort of thing. You know, there are some rumors about Batman and Robin too, you know? Yup. Reminds me of them old cowboy comic books. Remember those old cowboy comic books? If you're old, like some of us are, might remember those from the old days. You know, Kid Cope. And that was a Marvel comic. And there was also Two Gun Kid. But my favorites were the DC comics, especially Weird Western Tales. Weird Western Tales. Those were awesome. Jonah Hex. Now there was your creepy old cowboy motherfucker out there for you. Nasty scar on close. And what was the other one? Oh, there was an underground comic book. Underground. Ooh. That means they could show boobies. They did it a lot too. And violent behavior. You know, shooting someone, and you actually see the bullet go into the head, come out the other end, and brains and stuff coming out. That's the sort of... My accent keeps slipping back to British, which is odd because I'm not actually British. Yes, sir. Back then, there was a thing called heavy metal. It was a magazine, fancy magazine, but it was a comic book. Had tits in it, and blood and guts. Sometimes there was a guy named Corbin used to write a story called Dan, and had a big schlong in that one. But all of those fun stories from the 80s, the 1880s, no, 1980s. But there was a really irregular, more ways than one, irregular series in there called Tex Arcana. And I mean Arcana like the major arcana or the minor arcana. You know, from them tarot cards, the fortune teller, hoodoo, voodoo, what you call them, when they read the cards and tell your fortune from the cards. Yeah, that stuff. Arcana. Tex Arcana. There were some vampires and demons and all sorts of weird shit going on in the Old West. And an old prospector, kind of like me, got his noose around his neck because he'd been claim jumping and he got in trouble. And he would come out of a grave and tell you the story about them weird goings on out in the Old West. That was a weird Western story. You might be able to find it. I think they compiled some of those Tex Arcana stories in one of them, what they call trade paperbacks. That might be fun to look up. They stopped publishing heavy metal a long time ago, I don't think. They might have revived it, but it ain't the same. Not the same. Made a movie. Didn't have Tex Arcana in it, though. But I recommend that. Weird Western shit. Also, you like your weird Western shit. There's a man named Lansdale, I think his name is. Writes some weird Western stories, sometimes modern, sometimes Old West. Sometimes it ain't all that weird, but when he gets weird, he gets really freaking weird. He did some really crazy stuff about a Texas drive-in one time. And there's that really fun guy who reviews the movies, calls himself Joe Bob Briggs. You've got some stuff on video. Used to read his movie reviews in the San Francisco Chronicle back when I was in university. Yeehaw! Because not all us prospectors only had a 6th grade education. Some of us learned a little bit more than that. You have to, so you know the difference between fool's gold and real gold. Tastes better once you start getting down the bottom. That's true for most cocktails. Interesting. It's got that rye whiskey flavor. It's not bad. It's good rye. I think I'll try some of it without the cactus juice next time. I think that will taste a whole lot better, but nevertheless, either way, I recommend the whiskey, and the cocktail is made up for Lightnin Gulch. So, next time I do a cocktail video, we'll dump the Western accent and get a bit more creepy and eldritch, because we're going to be getting on the next one. The Tomb of the Ancients. Ew. They're justified and they're ancient, and they ride ice cream van. Oh yes. Well, they may have something to do with the ancient land of Mu, after all, or many other ancient lands, Atlantis, Lemuria, because they seem to be all over, from Egypt to Asia to South America. But we'll get to that cocktail at a future time, because I currently have no bleeding idea what ingredients will be going into the fucking thing. But till then, we'll keep on drinking this here Old West thing. You know, now that I think about it, if there's supposed to be some Asian deities in the Ancient One's tomb, maybe something with sake. One of that wacky sake sort of stuff. Well, we'll figure it out. Right now, I've drunk up the whole darn cocktail, and you didn't get none. So, I'll just have to tell you, keep swinging for the stars. And look out for them coyotes. They'll sneak right up and bite you on the ass. Until then, it's only 3 weeks till them horror nights. And then you'll be going to Lightnin Gulch for yourself and seeing for yourself what caused that terrible curse. And the stroke of fire from heaven, that lightning striking the earth. And the greed and lust, like the Bible tells us, the root of all evil. So be warned, beware. And if you can't, there's always whiskey. Keep your powder dry, partner, and we'll see you again sometime.